On a cold October morning, my son Tyler pulled up to my mountain property in a $75,000 BMW, walked through my front door without knocking, and his wife Amanda announced, "We're moving in. We heard you bought a luxury villa up here." "I'm Aaron Mitchell, and I'm 67 years old. I let them walk all the way inside before I showed them what they'd really walked into." The morning started like every other for the past 3 years. 5:30 a.m., black coffee in a chipped mug that said, "Best Dad," from when Tyler still cared about things like Father's Day. I stood at the kitchen window of what I called my Alpine villa, watching the Colorado peaks turn gold in the sunrise. The air smelled like pine and coffee, and the kind of honest work that builds calluses. My name's Aaron Mitchell, and at 67 years old, I'd finally figured out something most people never learn: how to build something that mattered. This place wasn't what people expected when they heard villa in the Alps. I'd bought the old lodge for $110,000 3 years back, spent another $35,000 making it livable. It sat on 12 acres of mountain terrain that reminded me of the Alps, hence the nickname. The main building used to be a hunting lodge before I converted it into something better. 7 smaller cabins scattered around the property, each one simple, clean, functional. It was October 18th, 2024. Friday. The guys would be back from their weekly counseling sessions in town by noon. I had the morning to work on the budget spreadsheet that Kevin had been after me about. 28 years as an electrician, then 15 years running construction crews, had taught me to appreciate quiet mornings and the satisfaction of work done right. Except at 9:52 a.m., that quiet got shattered. I heard it first, that BMW engine, too smooth and expensive for these mountain roads. It climbed the gravel drive like it owned the place, throwing rocks and kicking up dust. I knew that car, hadn't seen it in 5 years, but I'd recognize it anywhere. Cost more than most people make in a year. The engine shut off. 2 doors slammed. Footsteps on my porch, one heavy, one sharp. Tyler Mitchell, my son, and Amanda, his wife. They hadn't called, hadn't written, hadn't visited once since the day Tyler told me I was wasting my life on losers, and walked out. The doorbell rang. Not a knock, a doorbell, the kind of ring that assumed it would be answered immediately. I set down my coffee, wiped my hands on my jeans, and walked to the door. Caught my reflection in the hallway mirror. Silver hair, weathered face, flannel shirt I'd owned for 10 years. I looked exactly like what I was, a man who'd worked with his hands his whole life and wasn't ashamed of it. I opened the door. Tyler stood there in a $1,500 suit, looking like the successful environmental lawyer he was supposed to be. 38 years old, tall like me, but soft in ways I'd never been. Behind him, Amanda wore designer clothes and heels that had no business on a mountain. "Hi, Dad," Tyler said. His voice was flat, not warm, not apologetic. Just there. "Tyler," I said. "Amanda?" Amanda smiled, but it was the kind of smile that didn't mean anything. "Aaron, you look comfortable." Behind them, I could see 2 large suitcases by the car. "We heard you bought a place up here," Tyler said. "A villa. 12 acres, multiple buildings. We looked it up online. This property's worth at least $350,000 now." I didn't say anything. "We came to visit," Amanda added. "Spend some time together. Family should be close, don't you think?" I looked at those suitcases. "How long you planning to visit?" Tyler shifted his weight. "We thought maybe a while. However long makes sense." "We're moving in," Amanda said, dropping the act. "We heard you're living in luxury up here, and honestly, Aaron, you have all this space. It only makes sense." "Okay," I said. They both stopped. "What?" Tyler said. "Okay, come in." I stepped aside and held the door open. Tyler looked at Amanda. Amanda looked at Tyler. They hadn't expected that. "Really?" Amanda said. "Just like that?" "You came all this way," I said. "Come inside. I want you to see everything." Tyler grabbed both suitcases. Amanda walked in first, her heels clicking on the wooden floor. I followed behind them, watching. The entry opened into the main hall. Simple wood floors, high ceilings, windows that let in mountain light. A long table sat in the center, surrounded by mismatched chairs. The air smelled like coffee and firewood, and something you couldn't buy. The smell of men who'd worked hard and earned their rest. Amanda stopped walking. Her eyes moved around the room. The worn furniture, the practical decorations, the complete absence of anything luxurious. "Where's the rest of it?" she said. "Rest of what?" "The luxury part. The wine cellar, the spa, the—" She turned in a circle. "This looks like a community center." "Keep walking," I said. They moved deeper, into the building. When they reached the main living room, they both stopped at the exact same time. The entire east wall was covered with photographs. Dozens of them, maybe 40, each in a simple wooden frame. Not one showed Tyler as a kid. Not one birthday, not one Christmas, not one graduation. Every face belonged to someone else. Tyler stepped closer. "What is this?" I walked past him and stood in front of the wall. "These are my boys," I said. Amanda laughed. "Your what?" I touched the frame in the top left corner. A young Hispanic guy with tired eyes but a steady smile, holding a little girl's hand. "This is Kevin Rodriguez. He's 29. Came here 2 years ago with his daughter Sophia. Kevin was 19 when he got her mom pregnant. His family's old-school Catholic. They said if he didn't marry the girl or give up the baby, he wasn't their son anymore." I moved to the next photo. An older black man with gray hair, standing in front of a classroom. "This is Douglas Thompson. He's 64, taught middle school in Denver for 35 years. When he was 62, his son convinced him to sign over power of attorney to help with finances. His son and daughter-in-law took his entire pension, $87,000, and stuck him in a state nursing home." Tyler was silent. I pointed to another photo. An Asian American man in his 40s, standing next to a rebuilt engine. "This is Ryan Foster. He's 46. Married 20 years to a woman who convinced him she was bad with money. Never let her see the bank statements. Never let her know what he made. When she found out he was cheating and filed for divorce, she discovered she had nothing." I turned to face Tyler and Amanda. These men didn't come here because they were weak. They came here because they were brave enough to start over. Amanda crossed her arms. "So what is this place? Some kind of charity?" "It's a recovery ranch," I said, "for men who've been hurt by the people who were supposed to love them." Tyler stared at me. "You spent your retirement money on this?" "Every penny." He gestured around the room. "Dad, this is crazy. You could have invested that money. You could have lived comfortably. You could have helped me and—" He stopped himself, but it was too late. "Helped you with what?" I asked. He looked at Amanda. She looked away. "Nothing," Tyler said. "Forget it." "No," I said. "You came here for a reason. You brought suitcases. You looked up the property value. What do you need, Tyler?" The silence stretched out. Outside, I heard a truck door slam. Voices. The guys were back early. "Tell me the truth," I said. "Why are you really here?" Amanda's perfect composure cracked just enough. "Because we have nowhere else to go." The front door opened. I heard Kevin's voice, warm and musical, speaking Spanish to his daughter. "Mira, Pepito, we got groceries. Go wash your hands." Little feet ran across the floor. Sophia, 6 years old, dark curls, bright pink backpack. She stopped when she saw Tyler, and, "Amanda?" "Who are you?" she asked. "We're visiting," Amanda said, her voice strained. Kevin appeared in the doorway carrying grocery bags. He was wearing his Walmart uniform, blue vest, name tag, work boots, oil stains on his hands from morning engine work. When he saw us, he stopped. "Sorry, Aaron. Didn't know you had company." He looked at Tyler and Amanda. "I'm Kevin. I live here." "You live here?" Tyler said. With your child? In one of the cabins? Yeah, with my daughter. Kevin smiled at Sophia. Sophia, go to our cabin. I'll be there in a minute. Okay, Poppy. The girl ran off. Kevin set down the groceries and looked at me, a question in his eyes. It's fine, I said. This is my son Tyler and his wife Amanda. Kevin's expression shifted. Understanding, maybe a little wariness. He'd heard me talk about Tyler, not often, but enough. Nice to meet you, he said politely. Then to me, I got the milk and eggs. Douglas wants to make cornbread tonight. Ryan's still working on that transmission. Thanks, I said. Kevin nodded and left. When he was gone, Amanda turned to me. How many people live here? 7 men, I said, plus Kevin's daughter. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Depends who needs help. Tyler ran a hand over his face. Dad, do you hear yourself? You're running a homeless shelter. I'm running a home, I said. There's a difference. This is insane, Amanda said. You gave up your retirement for strangers. I gave up nothing, I said. I chose this, and they're not strangers. They're family. They're not your family, Tyler said, his voice rising. I'm your family. I'm your son. I looked at him for a long moment. When was the last time you visited me, Tyler? He went quiet. When was the last time you called? Nothing. When was the last time you asked how I was doing? You're my son, I said quietly, but you stopped being my family a long time ago. The words hung in the air. Amanda looked like she wanted to say something, but Tyler grabbed her arm. We should go, he said. No, Amanda said. She pulled her arm free and turned to me. We can't go. We need to stay here. Amanda, Tyler started. Tell him, Amanda said. Just tell him. Tyler closed his eyes. When he opened them again, he looked older, tired. I lost a case, he said. A big environmental lawsuit. The client sued me for legal malpractice. They won. I waited. The judgment was $195,000, he said. My insurance covered $100,000. I'm personally liable for the rest. $95,000, I said. Yes. He swallowed. Amanda has credit card debt. $52,000. I looked at Amanda. She wouldn't meet my eyes. We sold the condo, Tyler continued. We sold the BMW. We borrowed from Amanda's parents $40,000. We've paid back $8,000. We still owe them $32,000. I did the math. $179,000 total. Yes. And you came here thinking I would what? Pay it off? Let you live here for free? We came here because we have nowhere else to go, Amanda said. My parents won't help us anymore. They said we're irresponsible. Tyler's credit is destroyed. We can't rent an apartment. We can't get approved for anything. She looked around the room. When we heard you bought property, we thought... She trailed off. You thought I was rich, I said. Yes. I walked to the window and looked out at the cabins. Douglas was walking back from the workshop, grease on his coveralls. Ryan was under the hood of an old pickup, teaching Nathan how to replace a water pump. I'm not rich, I said. I have $6,500 in my savings account. The ranch runs on donations, the men's part-time jobs, and my pension. Our monthly budget is $3,800. We're always short. I turned back to them. I bought this land for $110,000. I spent $35,000 fixing the main building. I built the cabins with volunteers and salvaged materials. Every man here contributes. Money, work, time. Nobody gets a free ride. Tyler looked at the floor. I don't have money to give. You, I said. I have a community, and you just walked into it expecting to take without giving. We didn't know, Amanda whispered. You didn't ask. Silence. Then I said something that surprised even me. But you can stay. Both of them looked up. What? Tyler said. You can stay, I repeated. Under my terms. What terms? Amanda asked. I walked to the table and pulled out a chair. Sit down, I said. Both of you. We need to talk about what happens next. They sat, and that's when I told them the truth about what it meant to live at the Alpine Recovery Ranch. "Here's how this works," I said. "If you stay, you live like everyone else here. No exceptions, no special treatment because you're my son." Tyler leaned forward. "What does that mean?" "It means you'll stay in cabin 6. It's 280 square feet. 1 room, a bed, a small table, 2 chairs. You'll share a bathroom with cabin 5. That's where Ryan lives." Amanda's face went pale. "Share a bathroom?" "Yes. There's a shower schedule on the door. You get 20 minutes in the morning, 20 at night." "This is," Amanda started. "This is the offer," I said. "Take it or leave it." I pulled out a piece of paper and started writing. "Rent is $400 a month starting month 2. Month 1 is free while you settle in. Groceries are $150 a month. You contribute to the communal fund. Douglas manages it." Tyler watched me write. "We don't have $550 a month." "Then you work for it. There's plenty to do around here. Tyler, you'll handle legal work for the community. Several guys need help with custody cases, debt collection, landlord disputes. You'll also do manual labor. Cabins need maintenance. We need a new storage building. You'll learn to use tools. Amanda, you'll help with cooking, cleaning, bookkeeping, and the garden." "I don't know how to do any of that," Amanda said quietly. "Then you'll learn." I kept writing. "Everyone wakes at 6 o'clock. Breakfast at 6:30. You take turns cooking. We have a schedule. After breakfast, morning chores. Then people go to their jobs in town or work on ranch projects. Dinner is at 6 p.m. We eat together, all of us." "Every night?" Tyler asked. "Every night. This is a community, not a hotel." I slid the paper across the table. "You'll attend financial counseling with Ryan twice a week. He teaches budgeting, debt management, credit repair. You'll also go to the counseling clinic in town. Individual sessions once a week. Couples counseling once a week." Amanda picked up the paper with shaking hands. "Sunday nights we have community meetings. Everyone shares their week. Progress, struggles, goals. It's mandatory." "You want us to share our personal business with strangers?" Tyler said. "They're not strangers. They're your housemates." I stood up and walked to the window. "You have 6 months. That's the maximum stay. In that time you need a plan, jobs, an apartment, a path forward. We'll help you, but you have to do the work." I turned back to them. "And one more thing. You will treat every man here with respect. You will not look down on them. You will not make comments about their choices or their past. You will not act entitled. If I hear one condescending word, one dismissive look, you're gone immediately. No second chances." The silence was heavy. "These are the terms," I said. "Yes or no?" Tyler and Amanda looked at each other. I saw something pass between them. Fear, maybe, or humiliation, or both. "Can we think about it?" Tyler asked. "You have until tonight. Dinner is at 6 o'clock. If you're staying, you'll be there. If not, you need to leave before dark. These mountain roads are dangerous at night." I walked to the door and opened it. "I have work to do. You can wait by the car or walk around the property, but don't go into any cabins without permission." At 5:45 p.m., I heard footsteps on the porch. The door opened. Tyler and Amanda came inside carrying their suitcases. "We'll stay," Tyler said. "Under your terms." I nodded. "Cabin 6 is the second one on the right. Drop your bags there. Dinner's in 15 minutes. They left. I went back to the kitchen where Douglas was stirring a pot of chili. The smell filled the house. Beans, beef, peppers, the kind of meal that stuck to your ribs. "They're staying?" he asked quietly. "For now." "You sure that's a good idea?" I wasn't, but I said, "We'll see." At 6 p.m., everyone gathered around the long table. 7 men plus 1 little girl, and now Tyler and Amanda. Douglas sat at one end, me at the other. Kevin and Sophia on one side, Ryan and 3 other guys I haven't told you about yet. Nathan, Justin, and Trevor. Tyler and Amanda took the 2 remaining chairs, looking completely out of place. Douglas said grace like he always did. Lord, thank you for this food, this roof, and these people who showed up when the world said we didn't matter. Amen. Amen, we all said. Douglas started serving the chili. Fresh cornbread passed around. Kevin had made rice and beans. So, Douglas said, looking at Tyler and Amanda. Aaron says you're staying a while. What brings you to our little ranch? Tyler hesitated. I saw him considering a lie, something vague and dignified. But Amanda spoke first. We're broke, she said. Her voice was quiet but steady. My husband lost a lawsuit. We have almost $180,000 in debt. We sold everything. We have nowhere to go. The table went silent. Then Douglas nodded. Well, that's honest. I appreciate honest. Nathan, a guy in his 50s who'd lost his factory job and his house in the same month, said, What kind of lawyer are you? Environmental law, Tyler said. Contract disputes, regulatory stuff. Any good at it? Nathan asked. Tyler's face flushed. I was until I wasn't. Failure teaches more than success ever does, Nathan said. You'll learn that here. Dinner continued. Small talk, laughter, Sophia telling everyone about her day at school. It was normal, almost peaceful, until Amanda spoke. Kevin, she said, how old were you when you had Sophia? The table went quiet again. 19, Kevin said. And the mother? Kevin's smile faded. Not in the picture. Did she leave or did you make her leave? Amanda asked. My voice cut through the air. That's enough, Amanda blinked. I was just asking. No, you were judging. We don't do that here. I wasn't judging. Douglas set down his spoon. Ma'am, you absolutely were. I've been teaching kids for 35 years. I know a judgmental tone when I hear it. Amanda's face turned red. Tyler put a hand on her arm. We should go to our cabin. Good idea, I said. They stood up and left. The door closed behind them. Kevin looked at me. Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe, I said. Or maybe they need to learn what humility looks like. The next morning, 6 a.m. came early. I knocked on cabin 6's door at 5:55. No answer. I knocked again. Harder. Finally, Tyler opened the door half asleep. What? Morning. Chores start in 5 minutes. You're on firewood duty. Amanda helps Douglas with breakfast. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Yes, that's when the day starts here. I walked away. 10 minutes later, Tyler appeared outside in a $200 polo and khaki pants. I handed him an axe and pointed at the pile of logs behind cabin 4. We need enough for 3 days. Should take you about 2 hours. 2 hours? Douglas is 64, and he can do it in 90 minutes. You're 38. You'll figure it out. Inside, Amanda stood in the kitchen wearing designer jeans and a white cashmere sweater. Douglas handed her an apron. We're making pancakes for 12 people, he said. You'll measure and mix. I'll cook. I don't really cook, Amanda said. Then today, you learn. By 7 a.m., Tyler had blisters on both hands and had chopped enough wood for maybe half a day. His polo was soaked with sweat. Amanda had flour in her hair, batter on her sweater, and had burned the first batch of pancakes. But they kept going. 3 months later, winter had settled over the Colorado mountains. By January 2025, the ranch was covered in snow, but inside, things were warmer than they'd been in years. Tyler woke every morning at 5:45 without an alarm. He'd lost 20 pounds and gained muscle from physical labor. He'd repaired 2 cabins, built a storage shed, and installed new plumbing in the main house. More important, he'd started offering free legal advice to the residents. He helped Kevin file for full custody of Sophia. After 4 months of court filings, Kevin won. He helped Ryan recover $8,000 his ex-wife had hidden. He helped Nathan get workers' compensation for an injury the factory had covered up. Amanda was different, too. Her designer clothes had been replaced by thrift store finds and work boots. She'd become the ranch's bookkeeper, managing our $3,800 monthly budget. She'd started a blog about their experience, making about $200 a month from it. Together, Tyler and Amanda were earning about $2,800 a month. Tyler from legal aid work, $2,200. Amanda from the blog and part-time bookkeeping, $600. In 3 months, they'd paid off $11,000 of their debt. They still owed $168,000, but they were trying. Then, on February 20th, 2025, I woke up at 5:30 like always, except my chest felt wrong. Heavy. Tight. I made it to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. My face was gray, sweating. The pain in my chest was like someone had parked a truck on it. I made it to the kitchen, started the coffee. My hands were shaking. At 5:45, I collapsed. Douglas found me at 6:15, unconscious on the kitchen floor. I woke up in a hospital bed. Fluorescent lights, antiseptic smell, IV in my left arm. Douglas sat in the chair beside me. "Hey, Aaron," he said. "Welcome back." My mouth was dry. "What happened?" "Heart attack, massive one. They did emergency surgery, triple bypass." Dr. Patricia Williams walked in. Young, maybe 40s, kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. "Mr. Mitchell," she said, "I'm going to be direct. You had what we call a widowmaker heart attack. The main artery to your heart was 95% blocked. Without surgery, you would have died." "The surgery was successful," she continued, "but you'll need extensive recovery. The total cost for surgery and recovery is $48,000. Medicare covers about 65%. Your out-of-pocket will be around $17,000. I had $6,500 in savings. "I can't afford that," I said. When she left, Douglas looked at me. "Don't even think about keeping this secret." An hour later, my hospital room was full. Kevin, Ryan, Nathan, Justin, Trevor, all of them crowded around my bed, and Tyler standing in the back, his face white. "Why didn't you tell us?" Kevin asked. "I didn't want you to worry." "We're family," Ryan said. "Family worries." Tyler pushed through to the front. "Dad, how much do you need?" "Tyler, no." "How much?" $17,000. "But I'm not taking your money. You're in debt. You're trying to rebuild your life." "You're my father," Tyler said. "Nothing else matters." Douglas spoke from the doorway. "Ranch has $1,800 in the bank. Aaron's pension is $2,400 a month. We bring in about $1,900 from everyone's contributions. Monthly expenses are $3,800. We can't cover this." Then Kevin said, "I have $900 in savings." "You're saving for Sophia's school clothes," I said. "You gave me a home when I was sleeping in my truck with a toddler. This is more important." Ryan, "I have $600 from my freelance work." Nathan, "My new job comes with a $400 signing bonus. It's yours." Justin, "I have $250. "Stop," I said. "I won't take your money." "You don't have a choice," Douglas said. Tyler stood up. "I need to make a phone call." He was gone for 2 days. On the 3rd day, Tyler walked back in looking exhausted but lighter. "I got the money," he said. "How?" Amanda asked. "I went to your parents." Tyler took a deep breath. "I drove to their house in Denver. I told them everything. About my debt, my failures, my pride. I told them about this place, about you, about the heart attack." "They hate me," Amanda whispered. "I showed them your blog, every post about who you're becoming. I showed them pictures of the ranch. I told them about Kevin raising his daughter alone, about Douglas teaching after his own son robbed him, about Ryan starting over at 46. He looked at me. "I told them about the man who worked 43 years so I could go to law school. The man who built a home for strangers because his own son forgot how to love him. Your father asked why he should give us money after everything, and I said, 'You shouldn't. This isn't for us. It's for him. And if you can't see that he's worth saving, then I understand why your daughter needed to leave.' They gave us $20,000, Tyler said. As a gift. They wrote the check to the hospital directly." He pulled out his phone. "Kevin organized a GoFundMe. His co-workers contributed $1,400. Douglas contacted his teaching colleagues. They raised $2,100. Ryan reached out. To his engineering contacts, $1,800. The church held a fundraiser, $1,900. And Amanda and I sold our wedding rings, $2,200. Total, $29,400. More than enough. I looked around the room at these men, my sons who'd given everything they had, and my son who'd finally learned what sacrifice meant. 6 months later, I stood at the kitchen window with my coffee. My hair was thinner, my chest scarred, but I was alive. Tyler and Amanda had moved to a small apartment in town, 20 minutes from the ranch. Tyler worked full-time at Legal Aid, making $38,000 a year, plus private clients. Amanda's blog had grown to 8,000 followers. Together, they'd paid their debt down to $141,000. And yesterday, Amanda had called with news. They were expecting a baby, a son. After everyone left Sunday dinner, I walked to the living room. The wall of photos had grown. New pictures from the last 6 months. Tyler teaching Sophia to read, Amanda in the garden holding tomatoes. A group photo. All of us. Arms. Around each other. In the center, a new frame. Me, thin from recovery, sitting on the porch steps, surrounded by everyone. Douglas had written, Aaron Mitchell, February 20th, 2025. The day we learned that love isn't just something you feel, it's something you do. This was my wealth. Not money, not property. This. My son came to my Alpine villa expecting wealth. Instead, he found what it costs to be a man. And I got my son back. Not the entitled lawyer who forgot where he came from, but the man he was always supposed to be. Tyler and Amanda still have $141,000 in debt. They live in a 700-square-foot apartment. They shop at thrift stores. But last week, Tyler called just to say thank you. They're naming the baby Aaron Douglas. That's worth more than any inheritance I could have left them. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give your children isn't money or property. It's teaching them how to earn their own respect and build something that matters. At 67, I've learned that you don't lose family when they walk away. You find out who your real family is when life knocks you down and strangers become the ones who pick you up.